And now, here to let you know there is no perfect movie, here is Tyler Wolff.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Tyler.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're here to let you know that 8th grade is not only no perfect movie, but it was the worst year of my life. How about you?
I was homeschooled, so through that period. So I didn't get to experience that the same way that you did.
But... Lucky bastard. Moving on. So anyways... the movie revolves around a girl named Kayla, played by Elsie Fisher, and it's her last week of 8th grade. She's kind of happy, but not really showing it because class president voted her the most quiet person. She's kind of figuring out whether or not she still wants to be the shy, introverted person she is, which, big fucking shock, she doesn't. So she reluctantly starts putting herself out there by going to more social events, meeting people who have never been her friends or are a lot older than her that she's going to eventually be with in school.
Or more extroverted.
Exactly. Be more extroverted.
Yeah.
And, I was excited for this movie, even though I hadn't seen anything about it.
You didn't see the trailer for it?
No, I didn't see any trailers. I didn't see any pictures. I didn't even know who Bo Burnham was, not gonna lie, before...
Really? Okay, that I didn't... I'm surprised by that, at least, because I thought that you...
Yeah, of course you are. Look, there are a ton of things about YouTube that I don't know. Some of them are for good reason.
Corners that you haven't explored yet, yeah.
Well, I'm not exploring Alex Jones anytime soon. But, the fact that Bo Burnham has this huge following and people had such big expectations for him, seeing how this is his first fictional film. He's directed, stand-up concerts for Netflix before, for other comedians. But this was his first time directing, a fictional movie. And I gotta say, for a first time, once again, this is Sorry to Bother You. People who are making their directorial debuts this year, they're getting off to a pretty good start.
Yeah.
One thing specifically about the direction that I realized is that there are a lot of takes that are put to the main character's back. So you don't see her expressions, but the way she's staged and how she's kind of cowering off to herself, it makes us as an audience feel very just as uncomfortable as she is in the given moment. Yeah. And there are a lot of longer takes of really just her going from one place to another, or her just sitting down having a conversation, and the conversation will just play out. And it felt a little more authentic as opposed to most teen movies. Because we had this conversation beforehand where teen movies, they've sucked lately.
They all want to have some sort of new catchphrase or some. It always feels like there's something that they want young people to take away from it and go, remember, it's like, remember this catchphrase or whatever, and this wasn't trying to coin anything.
No.
That's what I felt.
And it avoids certain cliches that, even in movies that I like in this genre, really bog the film down. Like, for instance, we were talking about the fact that there really isn't a central bully than there usually is.
Yeah, no, it's handled a lot more casually. It's not, they're not confrontational about it. Out of their exclusion or treatment of the character.
Yeah, there's no hanging a kid upside down or threatening them with a knife. Things that bullies totally do.
Wedging, yeah. Swirly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's swirly. Yeah.
Oh, right. And I feel that filmmakers are starting to get back into what coming of age movies are supposed to be about, like Edge of 17 or Florida Project, where it's not glamorized, the plot isn't a fantasy, it's real life, and real life can be shitty. Most of the time. And that's actually one thing. There is one takeaway that I can get from this movie is that there are a couple moments that kind of rip off Edge of 17. Specifically, how this girl has a crush on this certain guy.
Well, the sleazeball?
Yeah, the kid that she was fantasizing over, to the point where she made some pretty desperate measures.
Well, I've never seen Edge of 17, so I couldn't make any comparisons, but
You're missing
what
out.
would those be, though? I mean, like, to...
Just how she was so desperate to learn about how awkward situations are done and to express that vocally in front of said boy or over private messaging.
Right.
And,
Okay.
yeah, out of all the reviews that say genuine and relatable, if this is genuine and relatable to you...
Leave a comment.
Please don't. Just, seek professional help. Any professional help whatsoever.
This is relatable, yeah. DM me. Oh, God.
But yeah, like outside of that, the performances were all pretty genuine. Elsie Fisher, who the name doesn't sound familiar, but she was one of the sisters in the Despicable Me movies. And this might be her first live action film, but she did a really good job, especially because a lot of scenes play out just in silence, where it's just her conveying her emotions just to herself. And you can see all the fear and anxiety that comes with just being a teenager.
Yeah.
One thing that I especially loved about her character is that it made YouTubers in a movie seem relatable. Because Bo Burnham being on YouTube, that's the one thing I do know about him.
That's too bad.
Obviously, shut up.
You gotta change that. Check his stuff out.
Fine, I will. But he does make it relatable to the fact that we've all been at that point where nobody watches our videos. We almost come across as being desperate to get any views and are willing to try just about anything. Like all those tips that professionals give about how you gotta promise it right at the beginning or say, be sure to subscribe at the beginning.
Here in my garage.
Yeah. Hi, be sure to share.
Oh my God.
Please. I got nothing else. There aren't a ton of memorable side characters as opposed to most teen-centered movies, but there are one or two that stand out, especially this fellow nerd who honestly just gives in to the fact that he is a nerd and has no problem saying just about anything.
He's got all those dips, like all the different colored, all the different dips.
Yeah,
for
I
the
made you
nuggets,
chicken
for
fingers.
the
Here's
nuggies
all
are
the...
What dip do you like, right?
You know what you know what would make this better, Caleb?
What?
Szechuan sauce.
Szechuan sauce.
Whatever.
But yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to. That kid though, he reminded me of Sammy Classic Sonic fan. I don't know if any of you, you know, is he the guy? Like, seriously, if he's the guy,
let's
let me
ask.
know. Who is that kid? Like,
let's ask all three people watching this who know who that is.
Seriously, who the hell is that kid? Because I feel like I know him from somewhere, and that's where I thought I knew him.
Well,
Yeah,
I looked him up.
You don't
His
know,
name.
Do you know Sammy Classic?
No.
Okay, well.
I looked up the actor's name. His name is Jake Ryan, and no, he's not that dumb blonde from Hannah Montana. But all things considered, yeah, for like what seems like a first time performance, it probably was. Dude just owned it.
Yeah.
And like,
great.
How did you feel about the dad in this movie? Because that's kind of where I thought they dropped the ball character-wise.
What gripe would you have with it? What
Just that he felt like every other dorky dad that we see in a movie like this, where...
Well, what would have made him...
Well, here's the thing. The whole time I was watching him whenever they had, like, arguments between the father and the daughter, as opposed to him just accepting it and putting a smile on his face, I would have been just like, excuse me, or are you really going to talk to me that way? Or to, when she's hiding something, I'm like, you know, I can't help you. No one can help you if you don't spit it out. And look, I'm sure that there are single parents who are like that who don't really know what to say. But, I mean, at the same time, I feel like there are plenty of single parents who know what to say. At least, I wouldn't know.
I don't know. I mean, is that a white thing? Because I'm honestly, because I found
don't know.
Listen. Okay. Bear with me here, because I found that a lot of the white parents that I've met, like their kids and whatever, their kids say something and you know, they're going through some struggle or whatever, and they're like, mom, like, you know, you'll have that, and the parent is a lot more accepting and like, okay, you know, whatever, than like, you know,
Truthfully, I don't
like a black mom. I don't know. There's a lot less. I don't know.
This is gonna be
maybe that's where it is. Maybe
this
that's
is gonna
just
be
a
our
white
most
thing.
off-color video ever.
Okay, all right.
Well, I don't even know because I didn't have them. I don't think I've even had that many friends who even had a single parent.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I gotta be honest. When I see single parent stuff in movies, it's all news to me.
Right.
And like that's the other thing about this movie. You can experience a different perspective without feeling like they're dumbing it down for you.
Right.
So, which is another thing that movies like this really struggle with, is trying to just relate to it, because these movies are written by adults and it's already hard enough to write it in a way that kids can connect to. I feel weird saying that because this is an R-rated movie, but it still matters because...
Why does it even need to be R-rated, though?
Well, for starters...
Why does it need to be R-rated? Seriously.
For starters,
it's just...
kids curse up a storm. They don't do it in this.
Well.
But, like, all the innuendos are still there. Like, you relate to the movie. The main thing that you missed was a sex ed class where, for whatever reason, an 8th grader decided to...
jerk the chicken. So to speak.
You know what?
Excuse
I don't
my
even
French.
have...
That was, you know, way out of line.
We're already...
No, I just still didn't think it needed to be. You know, I didn't think it's like, you know, they didn't show his peen. It wasn't, you know.
No.
It wasn't like...
Well, they did show us a different version of this.
Okay, but it wasn't as we would have... anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
It just didn't evolve as graphically as needed for an R-rated film. I thought I thought.
I get that,
know,
and like Edge of 17 wasn't graphic either.
No,
the reason I got it in R-rated, yeah, it did.
It did too. Our Edge of 17,
yeah, because they cursed when they needed to, when I think that the characters needed to, because
is that what gets an R rating? Cursing? Is that what?
Totally.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Eh? Okay. Wow. Kids will like teens will probably still see this R-rated film anyway. You know, there's so much that
There were a couple younger.
I don't know.
There were a couple people younger than us in our theater.
Also, but hold on, but his 8th grade is that's not a big release though, like where like for Cineplex. So okay, because I was gonna say
it was
like,
just released.
Those
last
people
week.
are very forgiving. I think those people let kids, just the teens, into R-rated films pretty easily. I think I've went to one.
Hey, I've been to R-rated movies where parents brought their 10-year-olds as if it was gonna be.
You were an adult though. I mean, like from an individual, like, you know, you're going in with your friends to an R-rated film, or you're like 16.
I thought my sister's had moments where she was turned down.
Turned down, okay.
Yeah, she tried to go see that Alien movie, Paul, and then the cashier's like, "Yeah, you're not old enough." Sorry.
It's Cineplex?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's surprising.
The only other minor nitpick I can really think of is that while there is a good soundtrack, it's one of the few times I can really get into electronic music.
There was one scene where I thought that was a little much. I don't know. I thought it was
really
dragging at one point.
Which scene was that?
I think it was the one where she's like looking through, like she's on the internet, you know, and she's like, you know, when you see her face, but then there's the, like you can see what she's viewing and like, and her, you know, and things from the internet. It's like a fade in, I guess, or that I think that was the part. I think so. But there was a part where there was like, you know, there was all these dotted colors or whatever, and they were
yeah, the colors are a little weird. Like there's a lot of yellow and purple in this movie, which I think was on purpose because this was something I was taught on a kids show where like yellow was a color that showed people were happy, and then purple was, you know, purple was the color of when we wanted something but we couldn't have it. She's got purple everything, like walls, clothes, her laptop.
That's funny because I didn't notice that. Maybe that was probably intentional, I guess. Then if you
But yeah, I can see like the fade-in can be a little bit distracting. I didn't mind it because we don't see fade-ins that often.
I'm not saying the
anymore.
fade-in was a problem. I'm just
okay.
what I was getting at was that there just that there was a scene or a moment when the music felt like it was like that's like okay, we don't need that intensity. Like it just felt like it was annoying at that point. I don't know.
Fair enough. But yeah, like the music for me, and I'm not sure if this was a theater thing or just how it was made, it got a little too loud sometimes where like the music just felt so distracting.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Well, the thing that stuck out for me the most was when she first sees this boy that she crushes on, and like her favorite song, I guess, starts playing, and it's all in slow motion. And
I thought that was okay.
For comedic effect, it was.
Yeah.
But, like, when it's just her on her phone, I get what Burnham was going for. It's the whole idea that we use social media way too much, but we do it because, in a weird way, it kind of connects us. Like, some of the things they montage through are just, like, random pop culture stuff that I have no idea how A24 can even afford. Well, how can you afford, like, 3 seconds of Jimmy Fallon drinking some weird cocktail or her rummaging through like a thing of Disney songs with the lyrics? That was another thing I liked, is that like her taste felt nerdy in a real way.
Let's elaborate on that aspect a little bit.
Well,
like how do you mean? Like,
well, because usually when I see nerds in coming of age movies, it's always very obscure stuff that nerds are into. Like in Love, Simon,
they're appealing to more hipsters than they are just the average. Okay, yeah, that's true.
When I saw Love, Simon, there was this one guy who was
less of that.
In Love, Simon, there was one guy who was really into Broadway musicals and magic, and like not that those interests are bad.
How dare he? Fuck those people.
Zip it, Music Man. But like, I totally get those interests. I've had interests in both of those. Shut up. But, like, at the same time, it's so obscure that it's hard for a lot of people to connect with when it comes to that. But when she's rummaging for stuff like Disney songs, or when the two of them are talking about Rick and Morty, it seems a little bit more universal.
I hadn't thought about it until you brought it up, actually.
And, like, we have obscure interests, but...
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean...
But it's not something that we brag about or anything.
The cinematography, though, it was good. I mean, it was fine, but like I don't know if it was like special or super unique. They put in an interesting, like you're talking about the usage of yellow and purple and stuff like that, and emotional the emotional aspect of it, the significance.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it was like, really groundbreaking or wow, that's super unique of a shot.
It's not. It's just
so. But that regardless, he did a bang up job.
Yeah.
Bang up Bo Burnham.
I actually do regret that I don't know a ton about Bo Burnham. I'll get into it. Just leave me be on it. But yeah, I will definitely check his stuff out. He's clearly a very talented director, and also someone who still remembers how tough youth can be.
And tries to depict it well and relatably, right?
Yeah.
So, and less hipstery.
If you like coming-of-age movies like Stand By Me, or hell, even Edge of 17 recently, where real life is the big focus, I would definitely recommend checking this movie out. It is well shot. It is well acted. So on the whole, I'm going to give 8th Grade a 4 out of 5.
And I'm going to give it an A out of 10. That's my new rating system.
Well, guys, if you've seen 8th Grade, what did you think about it? Be sure to let me know in the comments below, and thank you once again for joining me on this. And thanks again for that awesome intro. Be sure to subscribe, check out my other reviews at noperfectmovie.com, and wait for this cool outro, courtesy of him. Take care.
See ya.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more No Perfect Movie reviews.